What's going on, kings and queens? BF and Kruma, formerly known as Mitchell Chance, the voice of revolution. I came across something that's very disheartening. Very, 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 very disheartening. Dr. Umar put up a post, a picture of a letter that he received in the mail from the board of psychologists, and on January 8th he has to go into trial and basically is going to lose his license because the very people that he has been fighting for have been calling and sending letters and trying to destroy what it is that this king is doing. And in a way, they have succeeded. In a way, they have succeeded. And in his post, in the caption, he says that after this last Kwanzaa tour, I'm saying goodbye to the conscious community. What's going on, Nina? For some time. And I know the backlash that I get every single damn day. Knowing that he has a larger platform than I am, he's a world-renowned household name. I know he receives a whole lot more than what I do. And to think about dealing with more than what I deal with every day from my own people, and then having my license removed because of my own people, I wouldn't be upset with Dr. Umar if he just said fuck it and never wanted to do anything for black people again. I wouldn't be upset. I know some folks would call him a sellout. Some folks would say you're supposed to stick it out and you got to leave. But, man, I don't know if y'all understand the magnitude of what it's like when you got to fight the people you're fighting for to fight for them. You know, these folks wanted to say, he didn't have a doctorate degree. Then he finally told them what school he went to and say, y'all go check it. And then once they figured that out, they want to go ahead and bring something else up. And it's just always something else with a black person who's fighting for black people. It's always something else. No matter what you say, no matter what you do, black people are going to fight you. You talk about the necessity of our own economics. You got black folks saying, nah, we just need to integrate. You talk about having your own land and your own area so you can protect yourself, and it's, nah, we just got to join the police force. You talk about starting your own court system. It's like, nah, we got to become judges. No matter what we talk about, that's for the safety and security, and not just physical, but the mental, the emotional, the spiritual, the cultural security. See, I think many of us don't realize how big of a deal it is when you don't have mental, emotional, spiritual, and cultural security. Paul says Umar is a fraud. You tell me what Umar is a fraud of. Umar has a 20-year track record, 20-plus year track record of fighting for young black boys and young black people in general, but specifically young black boys, fighting them getting put in special ed and made to feel like it's something wrong with them. Umar has a call every freaking Tuesday morning for parents who want to call to get information. I know people personally. We're talking about a brother with 6 degrees, a brother with a doctorate degree, a world-renowned speaker sought after all around the world. I know people who personally have had him come to their house to counsel their son, to counsel their child's father, to try to bring reconciliation to their family for free. Now, you show me how many frauds are going to take their time to go counsel black people for free. Show me how many frauds, and then that's not going to broadcast it because he not on his page talking about it. He not on his page talking about all the free things that he do for the black people that are a part of his call, a part of his parents. He's not on none of his radio or TV interviews telling you about all these free things. So show me a fraud who is going to take their time for free to pour into the lives of people. A fraud that has a doctorate degree and could well charge $150, $200 an hour. But he comes in the middle of the hood. In the middle of the hood to counsel young black boys and their parents. But we want to call him a fraud. And that's the problem right there. That's the problem right there. We want to crucify our folks so bad, and it's ridiculous. And then folks wonder why people just say, you know what, fuck it, man, I'm done. I ain't gonna lie. I've been close to it myself a lot of times. Like, man, folks don't want to support you. They don't want to support you. You know, you gotta dedicate your all to the movement, and God forbid you get a donation so you can survive. God forbid you sell a product. I got folks who get mad at me and call me say I'm pimping the people because I sell books. When the hell has it ever been a bad thing to be a black author? When did being a black author become you pimping the people? You just wanna peddle your books. I ain't selling no street novels. No fictional stuff to make you feel good. I'm teaching you black empowerment. I'm showing you historical stuff, psychological stuff that you never saw. But folks want to crucify every black person who's fighting for them. And now this brother is facing getting his freaking license revoked because of the people he was fighting for. Because of the people he was fighting for. Keaton Jones' mom got $60,000 in one day. Umar couldn't get that money for the school to save his life. A school for your kids, my kids. A school for our kids. But what we do, we mock it. What we do, we talk trash about it. What we do, we find every reason not to support a black person. When you start talking about things that benefit black people, the first thing many black people do is start telling you why it won't work. Yesterday it came out, LeVar Ball wants to start his own league. And you know what a bunch of black people start doing? Talking about, this can't work, you can't do this, and how you think you're going to be able to start a league. A whole bunch of we sick bosses. Diddy and them talking about getting a league. It's not realistic to think that you can start an NFL. Well, was it realistic when the Caucasians thought about starting it? They just started everything that they wanted to start. They started everything that they wanted to start. But as soon as we want to start something, you can't do that? How you think a black person can do that? A bunch of self-hating folks, man. And I don't even know this brother. I've met him, but I don't know this brother personally. But I take it personal because I know all of the things that he's done. Not all of, but I know a lot of the things that he's done for free. For free. And we want to crucify him. We want to crucify every black person who fights for black people. For what? So we can stay under white supremacy? So we can continue to be oppressed? We fight for our own oppression. But black people, how do we think we're going to remove ourselves from this condition if instead of supporting those that fight for us and put their lives on the line, we degrade them, we ostracize them, and we criticize them, and we just try to bring them down? Folks' lives are on the line. The last conversation when I had with Dr. Umar, he was telling me how he was labeled as a black identity extremist, if you've heard about that term. And because he was labeled, places backed out on his tour. He couldn't use their places no more. He can't even use Eventbrite to book his shows anymore because he's now labeled as a black identity extremist. You know what happens when you get labeled a black identity extremist? That's like being labeled a terrorist. That's the same label that Malcolm had, or Martin had at the end, or the Black Panthers had, or Asada had. Different names, but it's the same thing. It means we're prepping the people to be comfortable with us killing you because it's something extreme about you. So we're talking about a brother who at any moment, because of his unapologetically African stance, because of the fact that he's trying to start a school that's going to disrupt all of the system, at any given moment, he could be killed for it. But instead of us supporting him, we writing letters in because we don't agree with his stance on homosexuality. We don't agree with his stance on segregation. We don't agree with his stance on taking the boys out of these schools and putting them in a special school for themselves. We don't agree with him saying, well, the girls can't wear weave here at my school. We don't agree with these things. So we want to tear him down. And then we wonder why so many sellouts. You know why sellouts, black people? Because we create them. We create them. We don't want to support the support for us. So then they end up getting money from white hands somewhere. And now the same folks that wouldn't support is going to call them a sellout. That's how it works. That's how it works. The same folks. They won't support what you're doing. They won't support what you're doing. They want to see a business plan. They want to see your financial statements. They want to see your credit score just to donate $10. Just to donate $10. I'm sorry, I'm not jumping through no hoops for $10. If you need that much for money that you're going to throw away, but you ain't asking nobody else that gets your money what they doing with it. You ain't asking the Asian store what they're doing with your money. You ain't asking the Caucasian what they're doing with your money. They living high on the hog. In fact, you watching them on lifestyles that are rich and famous, and you watching the shows where they showing their yachts, and you like, yeah, damn, Bill Gates is worth $80 billion. Oh, Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg, he young and he worth $40 billion nowadays. But black guy, well, what you gonna do with my $10? Come on, y'all. And do you wonder why folks give up, man? This is really hurting because I can feel his pain. I felt his pain as I was reading it. So man, this is good. This is goodbye for now. And I couldn't even be mad at him if the brother said goodbye for good. I couldn't be mad at him. Because if you take my license away, which will probably cost, because he does have a job at a school, which he'll probably lose that. Probably won't be able to travel to these different schools and teaching because he's now lost his credentials. And you know who loses as a result of that? All the little black kids. All the little black kids that get diagnosed with let me see. This is his book right here, which he gave me for free. He's a fraud, but he said, Mitch, I just want you to read the book. He gave it to me for free, but he's a fraud. The Psychoacademic Holocaust, the Special Education and ADHD Wars Against Black Boys. Who loses out when he loses his license is the boys that he's fighting for. That's who. Because this war on your sons, the war that's on your sons is happening every single day. Every time they walk into a classroom, they getting diagnosed with something. And this book breaks it all down. They getting diagnosed with something. They get put in a special education class because they're energetic African boys. And we don't typically learn like Europeans, just sitting still in the class. That's not our culture. Even though we're not still in Africa, as Dr. Malefe Asante talks about, we still have a African DNA memory, African DNA memory. Even though we might not be connected, even though we might not learn the stuff mentally, we still have it in our DNA. Look at more self-hating clowns. Brian, what's your name? Brian Porter. Yeah, you the clown. What you doing for the people, Brian Porter? What you doing for the people? This will lose. Our sons. Our sons are losing. If he can't practice anymore and he can't go to schools and fight against this system, this psycho-academic holocaust, it's not him that's losing. It's not him that's losing. It's our sons that are losing. Who else is fighting that fight? Who else is fighting that fight? Huh? Who else is fighting that fight? Look at the numbers and see how many young black boys and girls, but specifically black boys, are shoved into special education. Told they got learning disabilities. All because the typically middle-aged Caucasian teacher was somewhat afraid of him. The book, it's probably on Amazon. I don't know. I got it from him directly. I don't, more than likely it's on Amazon. Or I probably go to his website. I think it's drumarjohnson.com. I think that's his website. We lose, y'all. We lose. We lose. He's saying his license is going to be revoked on January, I believe, 8th, because people have been calling in and writing letters about him, and he's been under attack for years from many, 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 many black people. Many, many black people. Are we going to start supporting our own or what? What are we going to do, y'all? This is what I want to know. What are we going to do? Are we ever going to just say, you know what? It's time for us to buckle down and support the people who are fighting for us? Or are we just going to tear them down and just stay at the bottom? Any of y'all ever watched the movie Blade? Blade is a little cheesy, but I like him. I like all three of them. But in Blade, right, we got the vampires, we got the vampire fighters, we got just the humans who are oblivious, and then you got something in the movie called familiars. These familiars work hand in hand with the vampires to destroy the vampire fighters who are trying to kill the vampires, because they believe the vampires are going to eventually take over the world anyway. So they're saying, we'll help you take over the world if you just promise to make us like you. If you just bite me and turn me into a vampire too. Even though I'm not a vampire now, I'm going to fight against my human race to help you because I think you're superior. And that is what a lot of black people are, familiars. We will fight against our own people, for and with the enemies, just hoping to become like them. Because we look at them as superior. We think that they can never be toppled. We think that the systems can never fail, and they can never fall. And so we're looking at them like, well, why would I join this fight to fight against this big army when I could just join the army, even though they're killing my own people? But I'm going to just beg them, can you just make me like you? Can you make me just like you? I don't want no independence. I don't want no black empowerment. I don't want none of that. I want you to make me like you, Mr. White Man. I want you to make me like you. And I'm going to destroy any black man or any black woman who tries to help black people. Our people went against Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Our people went against Elijah Muhammad. Our people went against Marcus Garvey. Our people went against Malcolm X. Our people went against the Panthers. Our people went against the Black Liberation Army. Our people went against everybody that rises up to actually do something. Black people go against every single time. Every single time. If you read Chancellor Williams, The Destruction of African Civilization, he will show you it's always our own people who are throwing us under the bus and destroying us. And now we're losing a great warrior scholar. He might just need some time to rebound and come back. but you don't know how it feel, you know. Or some of you might. But, you know, I get millions of views, thousands and, you know, hundreds of thousands of comments. And whenever I talk anything that's seriously black empowerment, you know, I get black people that's just trying to destroy me. Black people just trying to destroy me. Call me all kinds of names, all because I talk about black empowerment. And with the kind of scrutiny that Dr. Umar had trying to get that school, I just know it just had to be, it can become too much. It can become too much, y'all. We got to support each other. If you think a brother is a fraud, do some research. Do some research. I had people calling me frauds all the time. If you go to my personal page, Mitchell Chance, and you scroll my page for years, you're going to see my work. But folks don't want to do no research. They don't want to do no research. They don't want to see if you really out here in these streets doing. They don't want to see none of that. They just want to tear somebody down. So as soon as they get a chance, they just attack you without looking and finding out none of the things that you've done. No matter what, we find a way. We find a way to destroy. I don't know, I put up a picture of a friend of mine from Florida, my brother Vernon Jackson. And he had a picture of him and his wife, but his then girlfriend, when they were young. A picture of him and her when he graduated law school, and then a picture of him practicing law. And he captioned it, and when he got on, he stayed with the black girl. And I thought it was beautiful, so I posted it on my page. And if y'all scroll through my page and find that post, it was a lot of black women mad at that post. I damn near pulled my hair out. I said, y'all going to get mad at an image of a black man loving and staying with a black woman. What the hell? Folks just want to be mad, no matter what it is, no matter how beneficial it is, no matter how it might help black people, no matter how it might help you individually, no matter how it might help your children, your grandchildren, your great-great-grandchildren, no matter how much it might help them. We just want to tear each other down. And then we'll stand for stuff that's not beneficial. We'll put a cape on. We'll put a cape on for Eminem. We'll put a cape on for that bullcrap Joyner Lucas song. We'll put a cape on for homosexuality. We'll put a cape on for promiscuity. We'll put a cape on for walking around naked. We'll put a cape on for all of this stuff. But we won't put a cape on for separation to build our own stuff. We won't put a cape on for our own education systems. Won't put a cape on for our own hospitals. Won't put a cape on for none of that. But we'll put a cape on for every white supremacist agenda that CNN put in our face. Dr. Umar, I feel your pain, brother. Black people, if this is what I would ask for you all to do. I tagged Dr. Umar in the caption. As I finish this video, I want all of you that's on here, can you all go to his page and just say something positive to the brother? Let the brother know that we still stand with him, that we still believe in him, and that we need him. Because right now he needs some kind of assurance that people out here still love him and appreciate the work that he's done. Because it's easy to feel like nobody really cares when you're giving your all and you can't get the support. It's crazy. George Zimmerman, once he got arrested for killing Trayvon Martin, in 2 weeks he had like $2 million in his defense fund. Umar was trying to get $3 million for the school. We couldn't get 40 million black people to give 25 cents a piece. I don't know what else to say, y'all. But it's something that we got to change, man. We got to change. Support your people, support your brothers, support your sisters. Whoever is fighting for the cause, putting their life on the line. Even if you disagree with something. Even if you can disagree with something. I don't agree with Dr. Umar on everything. But I know his heart is right. I know he's fighting for the people. I'm not going to go argue with him about the one thing I disagree with when there's 1,000 other things I do agree with. And for the most part, things are just methodology because the end goal is still the same. Autonomy, black independence. If your end goal is the same as mine, then sometimes we might differ in the methodology. But if you want the same goal, then all right, let's just figure out what we can work on. So that's all I got to say, brothers and sisters. It's time for us to wholeheartedly support our people and not allow anything to come in to change narratives and make us go against our own. Because when you go against your own, who's left to stand with you?